Peace, grace, and mercy, y'all. Y'all know who it is. Neighborhood Hebrews Ministries. That's right. It's Darash Barak Yah, your neighborhood Hebrew. You feel me? Y'all already know what it is. It's part 2, Sabbath day reading class on Exodus 16. Right? You know what it is. Allow Yah, allow Yah, allow Yah. So, on this part, we're going to actually go into verses 20 or 23, 13 through 24. 13 through 24. Y'all know what it is. Follow all the platforms that you see below. Follow all the platforms you see below. And just keep updated with the ministry. See what we got going on. See what's to it. And we just try to make sure that we just doing our best over here. You know what I'm saying? With me gleaning from my brethren, we jumping into this book and we seeing what it do and what it looks like. You know what I'm talking about? So without further ado, let's make it do what it do. We're starting at verse 13 in Exodus chapter 16. So as y'all know, I got my reader for me. So we just gonna jump on in and get right to it. All praise to the Most High Yah. Through Yahshua. Let's go.
And in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord your God. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up, and covered the camp. And in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, It is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, This is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered, some more, some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. And Moses said, Let no man leave of it till the morning. Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, This is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe. And that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein.
Allow Yah. Allow Yah. Allow Yah. So, got a question. You know what I'm saying? Because we starting at verse 13. So I got a question. Right? So, because I don't know everything, y'all know that. I don't know everything. I don't try to act like I know everything, even though it may come off that way, but I'm only showing y'all what I see in the scriptures, right? So, is this giving us a description of what's going to happen up until this point, or is it a play by play, day by day, meaning it's the 17th day or morning going into the evening, right? Into the next morning, right, of day 18? Is it? Right? Well, just going off of, you know what I'm saying, like us reading this chapter or reading this verse, right? and we're going to read it again. It says, verse 13. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. Right? So going off where we stopped at um, last class on the reading, right? We left off at verse 12. So if we kind of surmising what's going on, I was kind of looking at the days, right? And I was like, man, well, it seems like, this is, just like what I broke down, right? We was in day 16 in verse 12. In verse 13, it's like we coming into, you know, it's the 17th day morning, right? Going into the evening and going to the morning, 18th day. But it's looking like these are just the instructions of how the days are going, and it's being repeated, right? It's being repeated is what it looks like, right? So we do know that they got there, right, on the 15th day, right? That's what we do know according to verse 1, right? According to verse 1, that's what we do know, right? So, and they started getting these instructions, right? Everything, the Most High gave it to Moses, right? And Aaron, right? So they started to get the instructions. So they definitely didn't wait, right? We don't see nothing in the scriptures that lets us know that they waited till the first day of the third month to start following these instructions, right? So they didn't wait. So it would have to be that they started this process of these 6 days to get to the Shabbat on the 16th day. Again, these are just my thoughts. I don't know everything. Just going off of what I see and how I'm reading this, right? So we know that they don't wait from the 15th all the way till the 1st. They don't wait 16 whole days to begin doing this. So they're going to start this immediately because this is when the Most High gives it to Moses. It's to be done immediately. As we know, when the Most High commands us to do something, we're supposed to do it right now, written hour, right? So just let y'all know. So I think this was instructions, right, to carry out. So I resort back to my initial thought, right? Because as I was reading it slowly, I was like, maybe, could be. But I'm going back to my original thought, right? Is that this all started on the 15th, right? Meaning they got here on the 15th, as it says in verse 1, chapter 16, verse 1, right? And began the execution of the instructions starting the 16th day, right? They started to execute these instructions starting the 16th day, but all the 15th day, Moses was actually gathering the children of Israel to tell them what they should do, right? So the Most High gave us what we murmured, right? Which was them quails, right? So he gave us what we murmured about, right? So he's showing a little bit of mercy, right? Just as we do today, right? We struggle to see the bigger picture. Everybody know that, right? So the Most High, even though we ask for stuff, but we don't necessarily know what we asking for, right? And then later on, it comes back to bite us in the ass, right? So, and if we precept it and you go look in Numbers chapter 11, you'll see that from their murmuring and that quail that they got, that wasn't a good thing. That wasn't a good thing. But the Most High just gave them what their heart desire was. But he ended up killing them off. You guys can go read Numbers chapter 11, on your own time, which will show us that the Most High killed them, right? Those people that fell to their lust, right, for the quail, instead of accepting the bread. The bread was what? Also had the understanding, the instruction, right? That was the manna. That was the manna, right? So through that manna and that instruction that he wanted to give us, remember, he gave us that in the morning, correlation with the light, right? With the beginning of day, right? Just from my understanding, right? Just from my understanding. So at the beginning of day, we got the glory of the Lord. Remember it said that? Remember it said that? Where was that? Back in verse 7, it says, and in the morning Then ye shall see the glory of the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings against the Lord, right? And what are we that ye murmur against us? So in the morning we would see his glory. And he's letting us know even back then that he ain't forget that murmuring. So he's going to give you what you want according to your murmuring. But first you're going to see the glory, right? And in that glory, he's dropping manna, wisdom and understanding, right? But they didn't know how to receive it for real, for real. So let's go to Psalms 105 and verse 40. So let's flip on over there to Psalms. Let me get there. Psalms 105 and verse 40. It says, the people asked, and he brought quails and satisfied them with the bread of heaven. So you see, the people asked, and he brought them quails, and he brought quails. That's what he did. You reading it below, you reading it with me, right? So he brought quails because that's what they asked. They murmured about it. But he satisfied them with the bread of heaven. So with that knowledge is what they was really satisfied with. But according to their lust, they got what they wanted, right? They got what they wanted. So let's go ahead and dip on back to Exodus 16. Dip on back over there. Give me a second as I have to flip back and forth through these scripts. Back and forth through these scripts. You understand me? So we're going to drop down to verse 15, right? And it says, and when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna, for they wist not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given you to eat, right? So when the manna is now dropping, again, they don't understand. They don't get it. They don't get what exactly it is that he's dropping them, right? It's not just food. It's not ordinary food. It ain't no cornbread that just came down. Nah, there ain't none of that, right? He's actually dropping them wisdom and understanding, knowledge. You know what I'm saying? He's giving them everything to sustain them, right? But they wist not what it was. They don't know what the hell's going on, right? They don't know what the hell's going on. They're like, man, what is this? Mind you, that's why they was murmuring in the first place, right? Because they thought they was going to die out there in the wilderness. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and go over to John. We're going to hit John chapter 6, verse 31 through 33. Then we're going to hit Deuteronomy 8 and 16. So first, let's buzz on over there to John 6 and 31. I'll hold my space there, Mr. Marker. Let me flip here real quick, like John 6. John 6 and 31. And then I'm going to buzz back just to make sure I'm Gucci over on this side. Deuteronomy 8. So let's check this out. John chapter 6, verses 31 through 33 says, Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written, He gave them bread from heaven to eat. Then the Messiah said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of the Most High is he which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world. So that's explaining what that manna was, right? It was way over their head. They couldn't even fathom that it was something that they were supposed to be. He actually gave them something to believe in, to have faith in, right? Because it was a miracle, right? And it hit them like a Swiss Army knife, right? It had multiple uses. It actually fed them in the physical, it fed them in the spiritual, and it was supposed to uplift their spirits enough to build their faith, right? To keep the commandments, to keep his commandments and his, his instructions. But the problem is they were only worried about food and they lust. That's all they was worried about. So it's like feeding homeless people. They're gonna do whatever it is that you say just so they can eat. But as soon as they eat, they don't give a damn about what you talking about no more. Trust me and my brothers, we know that for sure. You know what I'm saying? We know that for sure. So you just got to go out there and just feed the people, right? Just feed the people. And if you're just going to give them knowledge, just give them knowledge and help them understand to see it. That's why the Messiah was here. That's why he's telling us this, right? For the bread of the Most High is he which cometh down from heaven and giveth life unto the world, right? You know, that's why the Messiah says that he's all these different type of things. He is the water, right, to bring forth life. He is the light, right? He is the bread, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why he said, "Take of my body, drink of," you know what I'm saying, eat of my flesh, of my body, right? Drink of my blood, right? Because he is the water, he is the bread. You see what I'm saying? So let's go over back towards the law. Let's see what the law talking about in Deuteronomy chapter 8, right? Verse 16. Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 16. Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy latter end. Right? So again, we explaining Exodus chapter 16 and verse 15, right? They don't understand what they got. They don't understand it. Our parents didn't know what the hell we were doing. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors didn't know what the hell was going on, but it was meant to humble them down. He's going to give them just enough, something simple. It's going to hold you over. Something simple is going to humble you down. You don't need what you was used to, right? You didn't need none of that, right? Now I'm giving you what you need. That's our problem. We overindulge, especially here in America or in Americas, really in the world in general, but America is the worst because any country that comes over here, they know that we overeat, we lazy, we don't keep our word, all kind of stuff, right? So this is how we keep this is how we've been continuing to go, right? So it says that he might humble thee. So he's trying to humble us down, right? So we can start following his instruction. He says, and that he might prove thee. So he got to prove that you will walk in his law or no, right? Right? To do thee good at thy latter end. So he's trying to do all these things, humble us down and prove us so we can make it in the end, right? Now, if we go back to Exodus 16, right? We zipping back over to Exodus 16. Where does it say that? In verse 4, right? So in verse 4, it says, Then said the Most High unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, right? So he's saying he's going to drop that knowledge and that wisdom, that information, and that actual food, right? And now he's telling them what they're going to have to go do. They're going to have to go get this every day. They got to get it every day. That he what? That I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. So that's the latter end. Are you going to follow his instructions or not? A lot of y'all won't even follow the people that you know to be right or doing right or exhibiting right in front of you because of your lust for what you want in the world or what somebody else done told you. This is the problem, right? And mind you, this chapter is speaking of when we first get the command to start keeping the Shabbat. This is the ordinance of what we're supposed to do. Okay, so we're supposed to work for 6 days, you know what I'm saying, to go get this knowledge and understanding, right? We're supposed to, you know what I'm saying, do enough for our households and our families. We're supposed to keep it moving. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. And then preparing us for the rest, right? But we can't seem to get that right because you so focused on what? Your quail. So what's your quail in your life right now? What's your quail in your life outside of following what the Father is telling you that you need? It's just something to think about. Something to think about. But let's buzz on over there. We're going back to Exodus 16 and we're going to go 16 and 16. It says, "This is the thing which the Lord the Most High have commanded. Gather of it every man according to his eating, an omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tents." Right? Come on. So here are the same instructions that I was already telling you about that he's trying to see if you're going to follow, right? So Moses is now telling them again. He's reminding them again. Okay, here's instructions to every man, right? Because the man is the head of the household, right? So he's the one that's going to take care of the house and make sure everything is done right in the house. So here's Moses telling every man and his house to take of this manna, right? This knowledge and understanding and food according to what you can obtain each day, right? So don't try to go out there and try to get more than what you think. Nah, nah, nah. Just go get what you know is good for you for that day. Good for you for that day. It's almost like the Most High. Well, I ain't gonna say almost. The Most High is genius. He was getting people ready for meal prepping. Hey, look, just go ahead and get what y'all need for the day. Hey, for everybody in the house, that way everybody's straight all through the day and through the night. Y'all gonna be good, right? Because back in these days, which is what we actually need to be starting to get back to, is hey, work while it is yet day. I'm quoting the Messiah. Night cometh when no man can work. So we got to get up out of that. That's why I be tell y'all, man, sow some alms, man, so I can just get to this ministry and help y'all get to the ministry to where that's all the work we doing is for the work for the Most High. That's it. All we doing is the work for the Most High. We're going to use this ratchet ass system to go ahead and fund and give back recompense back to his people. You feel me? So we're going to go ahead and charge their asses on up. You feel me? But anyway, let's get back to it. So everybody's supposed to obtain what they need for each day, right? But they only perceive this as food. So that's how they're looking at it. So that's why they're thinking about their flesh. That's why they're thinking about, oh man, well, what can I get? What can I get? You know what I'm saying? What you got? What you got? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they're thinking about it like that. They're not really thinking about it in the aspect of, okay, what is the Father really trying to show us through Moses? What is Moses really trying to, help us understand? Right? And see, Moses wasn't even that gamed up to tell them that. Because Moses was just relaying the information. Right? This is why we need the Messiah, later on in the book, right? Because he was actually showing us just exactly what he explained to us, what? Back in John chapter 6, verse 31 to 33. He's explaining that we didn't understand. We did not understand it, right? And even in Deuteronomy 8 and 16, we didn't understand what he was actually doing when he did what he did. So let's jump down to verse 18. Exodus 16 and 18, right? And it says, "And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating." Right? So again, they focusing on the eating, but they missing that is, you feel me? Like, this is wisdom. Again, I'm repeating it again, because this is what the Most High is doing, right? This is wisdom and understanding from the manna, right? Because it was dropped from heaven. So this is heavenly food. So it's packed with something, it's packed with much more than you can even fathom. It's packed with much more. You thinking that is something like, this is something extra, extra, but you have to tap in to what it really is, right? So from the manna, right, was to be obtained so that we could all balance each other out, right? Everybody on the same wavelength. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, make sure you on point. Make sure you on point. You know what I mean? This is where that correction and this is where judge righteous judgment comes from, right? I'm gonna drop the scripture right there. judge righteous judgment. So you must judge righteous judgment. You have to. You have to judge righteously, right? But in order to judge righteously, everybody got to know what the hell is righteous. What's righteous, right? Because we have to use that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which was coming from that manna. But let's go back to, not back to, but let's go over to Second Corinthians, right? Let's go over to Second Corinthians chapter 8. So let's buzz on over there. Second Corinthians chapter 8. Just to correlate with verse 18. Get there. All right, Second Corinthians chapter 8, verses 14 and 15. It says, but by an equality that now at this time your abundance may be a supply for their want, that their abundance also may be a supply for your want, that there may be equality. As it is written, he that hath gathered much had nothing over, and he that had gathered little had no lack. Right? So this again, precept upon precept. So we start to see exactly what was what. We were supposed to be holding each other down. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Make sure your household is straight, right? Make sure your household is straight and that everybody's getting what they need. But they first must do what? Follow instructions. But see, today, just in like in relationships, because y'all know what the ministry is about over here, right? We all about the family relationships and making sure that the family is tight. I don't give a damn about how you feel about it. This is how the family's supposed to operate, right? So a lot of times in the relationships and the marriages, when things go wrong, you'll start to see where the sisters are like, oh, well, if he would just do this, then I could operate my femininity. If he would just do this, then I could just do this and I could just do this. No, how about you just follow the instruction? Hey, you chose to be with that man. That man is now leading it with instruction, right? Whatever his instruction may be. Now, brothers, you ain't getting off the hook. Nigga, you ain't getting off the hook. You know what I'm saying? You actually need to be moving in the right spirit, right? Now, even though she with you, yes, she with you, and she should be following. Sister, you should be following that man. I don't care what he say. The Bible says you should be following him, right? And if he's not a believer, then you're supposed to win him over by your conduct and your conversation. Not be loud mouthing, going to Facebook, Instagram, you know what I'm saying, acting like, you feel me, you just some perfect Miss Prissy when you ain't. You ain't. Your breath stink in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, you got holes in your pantyhose. I'm talking about, holes in your pantyhose. I don't know what the hell you talking about. So anyway, getting back to the point is, but by an equality that now at this time your abundance may be a supply for their want. Because we should be having an abundance of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. We should be having an abundance of it. And by that abundance that we have, we should be able to share it to one another. So where everybody, hey, we rocking, we on the same page. Okay, brothers sharing with brothers, right? Brothers leading their households. So now they wives and their children is doing the same thing. If another brother is going off, a brother gonna go help fill that brother up with his supply because he has enough, right? So we gathered much. So this is what we're struggling with back then, our forefathers, right? We struggling with it. So we don't really know that it had a much, much deeper meaning, right? To tapping in to what was really supposed to be tapping into. So let's go back over to Exodus 16 and jump down to verse 19. It says, and Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning, right? So what you have in that abundance, that was for your day. That was for your day, for your household's day, for your wife's day, for your children, for the day. You're good, right? So just like the Passover couldn't be kept till the morning, right? Go back to Exodus 12 and 10. You know what I'm saying? You can see it right there. Exodus 12 and 10, right? We are supposed to use what he gives us for today, right? Use what he gives you for the day, right? Because tomorrow he gives us a reset with new understanding and new challenges. I repeat, new understanding and new challenges, right? So, plus you don't need to overeat, right? You don't need to gain extra knowledge, right? Because use what he give you for the day, right? Because too much honey and make it throw up. Look at this scripture right here. Check this scripture out right here. Too much, right, of anything, any good thing, right, will make you throw up. You know what I'm saying? Too much air, you could suffocate, right? Too much water, you could drown. You understand? You understand? So now let's go back over to Second Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 16 through 18. Second Corinthians chapter 4, 16 through 18. For which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and external weight of glory, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Right? So going back over to Exodus 19 or 16 and 19, it says, and Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning. Right? Hey, you don't need to hold on to that. You don't need to hold on to it. Why you don't need to hold on to it? Because we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. You're going to be renewed day by day. The Most High, especially regarding chapter 16, he's going to give you more manna the next day. So you ain't got to overdo it today. You ain't got to overexhaust yourself today. So let that just be a lesson to brothers and sisters that have things going on in your day. Man, let that shit go. Let it go. Let it go. You feel me? Like, this is why, people think, my situations in my life, they're like, oh man, you should be. I don't give a damn what you think I should be doing. I'm doing and using what he gave me in this day. And I'm going to operate it, hey, the best that I can. I ain't got a lot to give. But what I do got to give, you can have it. You can have it. You know what I'm saying? You can have it. Right? Now let's look at verse 17. It says, for our light affliction. It says your affliction is light, right? Which is but for a moment. So what you going through today is but for a moment. What you got for today, you might not think it's not enough or whatever, but it's but for a moment. It's for a moment, right? It says, worketh for us as far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So what you going through is actually, how you deal with it and how you respond with it, how you following those instructions that the Father said to do. Because we grow in adversity. We grow when we uncomfortable. Because if we stick into what he said to do and how he said to do it, right, that's storing up those treasures in heaven, eternal weight of glory. What do you think that is? That's that bank account in heaven going, shishing, shishing. You know what I'm talking about? So it says, while we look not at the things which are seen, right, which is what we should have been doing with the manna. Hey, look, man, we're going to finish this, take in what the Father wants us to take in, and we're going to keep it moving, right? But at the things which are not seen. So what is he actually showing us with this manna? What is he giving us with this manna? Those are things that we should be trying to check out. The things that we don't see just with our eyes, but rather we sense how things is going on. Oh, dang, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing this working in my life. Oh, damn, like this happened to me, which was but a light affliction, right? But then this ended up happening. So if that didn't happen, would you have gotten that? Nah, because it's all about how you conduct yourself, right? It's all about how you conduct yourselves. For the things which are seen are temporal, right? They're temporal. Here goes the definition of temporal, right? So temporal, it's only but for a short time. It says relating to worldly as opposed to spiritual affairs. So it's worldly. It's a worldly thing. What you worried about is worldly. For the things which are seen are temporal, are worldly, right? Temporal, right? They're only operating in this time or sequence of time, right? But the things that are not seen, they up in the heavens, right? That's eternal. That's what's going to be stored up. But anyway, I'll harp too much on that one anyway. Y'all got it. Y'all see it. Excuse me. So we back to Exodus 16 and we go into verse 20. Let me get back over there. I forgot to put you feel me, over there. But we're going to verse 20. It says, notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning, and it bred worms and stank, and Moses was wroth with them. Why was he wroth? Because you're not following instructions. You niggas don't listen. That's why he's wroth with you. He pissed off at you. Just like your older brother, just like your dad, just like your mom will be pissed off at you if you're not following the instructions. And not only did you not follow the instructions, but now you didn't even need to hold on to that. And the reason being behind why I told you not to do it, this is what a lot of sisters, y'all need to understand. When your man's trying to protect you from something, he's telling you something, even though he don't tell you why or why not. Oh, but why can't I do this? Well, the reason why you can't do it is because you're going to leave it up until the morning and it's going to breed worms and stink. That's why. That's why. So just follow the instructions and we're going to be straight. Why you keep questioning it, right? So how they treated Moses and the other prophets, even as Noah, the Messiah, you know, all the other prophets, you know what I'm saying? But the Messiah told us, right? He told us what was going to happen. He told us and he reminded us what was going to happen, right? So now let's go ahead and go get that quick little precept one time. 23 and 34. Salaki, I was in the last chapter. Salaki. It says, wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city. Right? So this is what they doing to Uncle Moshe. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Moses, man, is dealing with it with these niggas. He didn't have it up to here. And they scourging them, right? Remember, they murmured against him, right? They talking back, they telling them what they ain't gonna do. Oh, you trying to just, you feel me, just leave us out here to die. That's what you trying to do. We already know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. Right? They're pissing them off. They pissing them off to the high heavens. Right? To the high heavens. They're pissing them off. And he like, man, what? Why can't y'all just simply just follow the instructions? Why can't y'all do it? Right? It's a struggle for them. They don't understand. Right? Because he's a wise man. Most High chosen to, you know what I'm saying, to be in this position. He's a prophet. He's actually getting the word directly from the Most High. Right? And they going against him. They going against him. So a lot of this, you know, this is information that we have to where we're supposed to learn from this, right? Right? We learn from this, from the days of old, from the prophets of old. So, you know what I'm saying? We learn from the word. We learn from it. Y'all see when I point that finger, you know that scripture going up. You already know what it is. So now let's go back to Exodus 16 and go to verse 21. Exodus 16 and verse 21. And they gathered it every morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. Right? So the sun waxed hot and it melted. So that means you only had a certain time to get out there and go get it. Right? So you got to catch it before the sun reaches its maximum peak, which is probably about noon. So you probably, if we're gonna look at it on an hours perspective, we're gonna look at it like, let's just say 6 o'clock at the beginning. So you want to get out there early, 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, right? You don't want to wait until 12 because 12 is when it's going to be its hottest, right? And anytime from 12, anytime after that, maybe from 12 to 2, hey, it might not be nothing out there because it might have melted away. You understand? It might have melted away. But this right here, they just as we are, right? Our people just as we are. So I'm trying to correlate and make it practical, right? They're going through the motions, doing the bare minimum without actually following the instructions, right? That's what they're doing. They're gathering every morning, every man according to his eating. You know what I'm saying? And when the sun waxed hot, it melted because people is just moving through the motions. But I'm pretty sure when they first started to do it, everybody was good at a good time. They probably got out there probably about 6:30. Everybody was done probably about, at least by 10. You know what I'm saying? Now they're just taking their time. And it's only been a couple days. It's only been a couple days, right? So they're doing the bare minimum without actually following any instructions, right? The only instructions they follow is just the basics, right? And they still not getting what is really, what's really being said. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting it, right? But they're going through the motions. And that's what we do today. We just go through the damn motions. And we just expect things to happen for us and be good. So let's go down to verse 22. It says, and it came to pass that on the sixth day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. Right? So now on this day, they're gathering two portions. Why? Because they need it for this day and they need it for the Sabbath day. Right? So they're gathering 2 portions. Right? So here we see them gathering a portion and laying up a portion. Right? That's what the 2 portions are for. It's to gather a portion and lay up a portion. Gather a portion and lay up a portion. You know what I mean? That's what it's for. Supposed to gather a portion and lay up a portion. Right? So if we're looking at it spirit-wise, just rock with me, right? To use and walk in wisdom of today and gather your information to glean off of for tomorrow. Just walk with me. You know what I'm saying? Just see, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Right? Food wise, right? It's saying to prep this today or this day for that day and the next. So get what you need to get, enough for today and enough to prep for the next day, right? So this is the prep day. However, that may look, just prepare or prepay, you know what I'm saying? Because remember, we're correlating it to today, right? So if you can't get out there and you got to work or whatever, hey, prepay something, right? Remember, you're not in your land. According to the scriptures, we're not in our land. This land that we in is not governed by the Most High. It's not governed by our people, right? But rather it's governed and ran and ruled by heathens and their system. Hey, so get your prep on. Hey, all you super brews, I don't give a damn. Hey, tell me where I'm going against the law. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to help my people understand, you know, from what I can see, the scriptures are actually telling us, right? So let's jump down to verse 23. Verse 23. Exodus 16 and 23. It says, "And he said unto them, This is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Most High. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seethe that which ye will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning." Right? So on the sixth day, the Most High told Moses to say very clearly, on the sixth day, he said to say, "Tomorrow is the Sabbath, and whatever remains, leave it over until the next morning." Now, I know my brothers and sisters out there, you know what I'm saying, keep the evening in the evening. But why did he tell them to keep it over until the evening? It's just a question. It's just a question. You know what I'm saying? But he's pointing out the morning here. The morning is what he's pointing out, and that's what he's touching base on. Um, and I didn't write it; that was already written there. So let's look at verse 24. It says, "And they laid it up till the morning, and Moses bathed, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein." So now they're understanding that, oh, okay. So now this is a blessing for real, because when we did it before and laid it up because we were trying to hold on to something else, it stank and had worms in it. But now we following, right? And now we see something different about this sixth day, this prep day. This prep day is actually telling us, hey man, we could actually leave it up, right? We can leave it up till the morning because it says, and they laid it up till the morning, right? So they followed this and kept it until the next morning. That's what they did. So, this is part two. It's part two. We're gonna finish it on out next Shabbat, most high willing. Next Monday, we're gonna get to it. And we're gonna see you know what I'm saying, about the correlation of the morning, and we'll see if the evening, part, has any part in this particular instance of this chapter regarding the Shabbat. We'll just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We just going through the scripts, you know what I'm saying, just read what's on the page. Just reading what's on the page. Not trying to add or not trying to take away from anything. So I hope this helped somebody out there. And even if it didn't, hey, even if you still like, this nigga don't know what he's talking about, hey, all praise to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Either way, I'm not tripping. I'm just on here trying to just build with the people, show you what I see. And you know what I'm saying? We just read together and talk it on out. As y'all know, I do these things pre-recorded because, yeah, the connections on these live platforms through how I like to set it up, or how I was trying to set it up, it just ain't been working. It ain't been working. So I got to pre-record it, and then I got to go in and do my edits and all that. So you already know what it is. You see the platforms. Go click, follow them, share them, subscribe. Do what you do. Hey, I'm your neighborhood Hebrew. Shalom.